republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And welcome. We got the minutes of previous meetings on 2/23 and 3/3. I need correction of the 2/13 minutes. Paragraph 5 should state accepted sickness policy, no workman comp policy. And you made that change?
Somebody make a motion.
I make a motion to make the changes needed.
Second. Okay. How about approval of the other minutes, the last two meetings?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Claims warrant end of month February. Excuse me. $239,304.02. It's higher than normal due to the cemetery and IMPA invoices not received until February claims for the March meeting. The March meeting is $311,502.03.
Make a motion to accept the claims and warrants as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And payroll warrants for 3/3/23 and 3/10/22 and 3/17/22 in the amount of $28,028.27.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bank reconciliations, utilities, $2,631,077.35. The town, $889,493.49. Payroll, $2,772.12, and customary deposit, $33,420.
Make a motion to accept that bank reconciliation.
All in favor? Okay, we got one billing adjustment for $116.56, and we got 3 water sewer adjustment requests. Carly Keller, Darla Rohr, Mark Cromwell, and Pamela Martin.
I'll make a motion to approve those subject to all paperwork turned in for them.
Yes.
Okay.
There is one on the Carly Keller account, 310507. It's not fixed yet, but they have it shut off. They're going to have to replace the whole line underneath that modular. But it was underneath, and it was verified by the guys. They saw where it was.
Thank you.
So they're supposed to turn receipts back in once they're ready to have it turned back on.
I'll second that.
Okay. Everybody agreed to it? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're not signing this yet.
Well, right there.
Okay. For Jay.
to throw it at you. Okay. Cheat sheet. Diana.
Sure, I'll be glad to go. On behalf of the park board, the deadline for the surveys to be sent in was this last Tuesday, March the 14th. So those are all done, and I know Annie has some more I need to get picked up. And I think we're going to end up with not quite 80, which is many more than we had when we did the surveys the last time. And so now that we'll have, Cindy's been compiling the information she's gained from each one, and so hopefully we can figure out what it is we need to make a priority in the master plan. We have unfortunately missed the deadline to turn in a draft master plan, and that was largely my fault because I misunderstood the information that that Cindy gave me, and did not understand that when she sent me this email that it contained the draft that we were supposed to send over there, in spite of the fact that it didn't have the right information. So I just kind of sloughed it off because I didn't think it was ready to go. So anyway, it's going to work out all right because we truly aren't ready to give our priority list. We don't have our information from our survey compiled, so we don't know what the people really want. And so it's going to be okay. And Jay is supposed to talk to the student from Rose Holman and gain some information there for a plan with the splash pad. So there's a reason for everything. So I have to look at it that way, in spite of the fact I felt really bad. But we'll be able to, and I don't understand it either, and I still don't, because when we submitted a master plan last time, we didn't realize we were submitting the plan so we could immediately file for a certain grant. We just submitted the plan because we knew we were supposed to. we knew we were supposed to have a plan ready in case there was a grant available, and then we could go for it. But apparently the rules have changed, and that's not the way it is now. So by golly, we'll have it ready for the next time. Our meeting coming up will be on Sunday, April the 3rd at 4 o'clock. So anybody's welcome to come, and we're still gonna go ahead. The park board itself as a group has compiled a list of things that they feel they want to see done, projects that we've already got underway, and so we're going to go ahead and work on those in spite of all this other stuff. It's just paperwork. In my estimation, it's just paperwork. Just the trail you have to go through.
How long is your survey going to stay open?
It's closed now. It was closed Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes.
I did meet on a video conference with the Rose Hallman students Tuesday, and I give them the plans that we'd had, and their professor called me today.
Good.
And said that, or he asked if we were dead set on those plans, and I said no, that was just given to you as a help. And he said, well, it helped those kids with their grades if they would design from ground up and give us the cost, just everything we asked for. I said, have at it. We're good with it. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
gosh, we just appreciate the fact that we have that resource, to use. Thank you for doing that.
No problem.
I think that's it.
Okay, sorry, Diane.
Just a short update on the cemetery project that I've been working on. Everything has been entered into the pond system. I'm 2/3 of the way of proofing. Once I'm finished proofing, I think Kathy's going to have some of her staff proof it again. 4 eyes are better than 2. There's some things at the cemetery that I want to go up and check stones, dates, spelling of names, and things that are just not quite the way they look now. And then Kathy and I've got some, as she calls it, CSI stuff to do. We've got us investigating on some old names that we want to work on. But other than that, just waiting on the survey to come through and we can get new additions done.
Thank you. John.
In the last 10 days or so, I've acquired a gas leak in my office at the furnace. Brad came over with the sniffer and it pegged the meter. So they've shut the gas off. Changed the thermostat. I wasn't there when they did it, but they thought it would be okay. And then yesterday had the same issue again. So I believe Brad said they're going to order a gas valve for that furnace.
They did, because Paulette came in the office this afternoon, and it'll be in Saturday, and he'll be there first thing Monday to change it.
And outside of that, I just want to remind everybody to watch out for the kiddos. Jackson Street's pretty busy right now. Kids running back and forth. Other than that, it's business as usual.
Did you get any information on the new frame? The correct frame, I guess?
Not yet. They have not. She told me when she got a timeline, she would give me a timeline. So, or tomorrow, or actually today was a week since I last talked to her, and I don't know. We'll see.
No, thanks, John. Skip.
11 runs for the month. That's 30 for the year. So we're right on pace of about 1 every 3 days. The only thing I got was we talked 3 or 4 meetings ago about a fuel tank for diesel. Has anything come up of that, or?
I talked to him again at the end of last week, and they're still checking on the tank. And that's been, well, right after that meeting, I talked to him, and they were checking on the tank then. And but I'll call him again the first next week again.
Because that brings up my next question. With us having to pay on our credit card and the town reimburses, does that create any kind of state board of accounts issues?
Their credit card and we reimburse them? No, not for us.
Yeah, because I put getting another town credit card for the fire department on hold, because I thought if we were going to do this, it wouldn't be necessary.
I'm trying to go down 2 avenues at the same time and see which one falls through.
No, just as long as you get the ticket turned in, we'll reimburse you before claims.
As I know we talked the other day about the Active 911, you said the state board of accounts kind of frowns upon that, and that was I was going to go with the fuel. So
I'll give him a call again next week. But I've not been able to talk to the guy, the tank manager they call him, but they left him a couple messages. He has not returned my call, so I don't know what the deal is. But I'll keep on him.
Okay. Fair enough. That's all I got. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, so if we don't get the tank and we get a card, so where's the card going to be kept so they can use it?
to have it? That'll be the question.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just gonna be for the fire department,
Yeah.
We got 4 trucks, a boat, so that'll all need fuel at some point in time or another. So depending on who's here, who's got the truck, when they need it, that's the bad thing. You can't assign it to just one person, have that person carry it because they may not be there when we need it.
so.
I mean, we could lock it up in the firehouse and then give the access code to a couple of the officers and go that route with it, or the pin.
Yeah, I wouldn't want everybody to.
No,
No.
I don't think
that's-
it would happen.
Who do you trust and when do you trust them? I know it's volunteer service and all that, and we should be trusting everybody on the department. Stranger things have happened, so. Especially if we don't know. I mean, if it's a $1,000 limit or a $2,000 limit, well, the price of fuel now will chew through that pretty quick. But
That's why I was just asking
So,
if it's
I mean-
gonna be a hassle to get the tank and stuff, because it's not for the utility guys, they can fill up, whatever.
But it would, I mean, getting the tank, and if it's up at the office up there, it'd benefit those guys as well. You'd be looking at better fuel, probably a cheaper overall rate throughout the year. Isn't that a contracted rate or anything like that, or is it just gallon for gallon?
They just need to get back with you to find
Right,
out if,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
last I knew years ago, and like I said, it could have changed, but we couldn't do it because of the taxes you had to pay on the diesel, on the highway taxes you had to pay on the diesel, so.
But if it's a town, we should be tax exempt from that, should we not?
No, not on that, you're not, that's why the state highway,
Oh, we have to pay fuel
Yeah.
tax. Yeah.
Okay.
state highway don't even have their own
A
tanks.
gallon of, what we got now is about 33 cents per gallon, state taxing.
Fair enough.
Well, I'll give him a call again Monday. Try again.
Okay. I'm Sandy Wallace. I'm here to see if the Park County Senior Citizens Group, which is nonprofit, 501c4, small group, roughly 12 people right now, if we could use this building one time for a meeting, either May or July. It would be a second Tuesday. And we typically meet 10 to 3 in that range. We bring our own lunch, maybe have a small meeting and then a speaker, or if you have Wi-Fi here, maybe a Wi-Fi presentation or a speaker, something like that. And we're trying to build membership from around the county. So we want to meet various places in the county to let people know, people from Montezuma are welcome to come to the, used to be Rockville Senior Citizens Club. Now we do business as Park County Senior Citizens for that reason.
And that is either May or July or both?
May or July 1 of those. May or July if it's available. And we'd like, of course, to not pay very much or nothing. Possible because we're very small. And we could always pay something small.
Waive the fee for them, and then clear it with her.
I was gonna say, we have to see if the day's available, if we have
Yeah, I
anything.
told her she could call the office and we could, are you talking about Monday through Friday? You have your meetings or weekends?
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second Tuesday, it would be May or July.
Yeah, the
And,
Tuesdays aren't, I don't think there's anything on Tuesdays in May or July.
Maybe once, maybe again I'd hit you up for next year or something. We just are trying to find various places through the county to meet, do something different, have speakers, and encourage people from Montezuma to join our group.
No problem.
Yeah. I'll make a motion and waive the fee.
Second.
All in favor?
We appreciate that.
She was up here with Kathy, or the
Yeah.
all up there.
Yeah.
You want to follow up with Kathy and make sure the dates are clear?
Okay, she gave me the phone number. Your name is Catherine?
Good to see.
Okay.
I have no opinion.
Okay.
Can I shut it down? Is that
Oh, you can, yeah, you can.
okay?
Did you pay for parking?
Yeah, did you pay for parking?
Bye-bye.
Validate my parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can validate it. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, let's go through the Well, I'll go ahead and read this and get it over with. This is to the members of the Montezuma Town Council. Please let this letter serve as my resignation of the Montezuma Town Council at-large position, effective today, March 17, 2022. I would like to thank everyone that I have worked with over the years, and would like to say I'm proud of the progress we have made. I wish nothing but the best for the future of this town. Robert Stuart.
Well, that was a slap in the face.
Yeah.
So we need to accept that.
I'll make a motion to accept his resignation if that's what he wants.
All right. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we'll post that.
Yeah, I don't, this doesn't come up often enough for me to remember exactly what we have to do. We have so many days.
Letter with the
County clerk.
county clerk, and then they have to
Write a letter.
It doesn't come up often, fortunately, it doesn't come up often enough for me to
They have
remember.
to fill the spot within
So
30
many
days,
days,
I
yeah.
think. And then we normally put a little thing in the paper on Facebook utility page, accepting letters of interest for the applicant position.
And then, in an absence situation where we're down a member, if there's a tie vote, you have the right to vote
That's correct.
as a tiebreaker. No.
Okay.
And he's an at-large
He's
person.
at large.
Pardon me?
I was just asking Kathy if he was at large.
Yes.
Write it down in case somebody asks me.
Okay. Back to the list. The Rural Development Annual Report is in everybody's packet. And we need to get that approved. And I need to sign it if everybody is in agreement to do so. Is there anything different really, Kathy, on it? Yes?
Just, it's 2021 figures. We have to turn this in every year, and Pat Callahan prepares it, goes through all our expenses, receipts, balances, and the miscellaneous information in the back taken from records throughout the year. Year end. And it compares a prior year to begin for 1/1/22.
Is that right? That, I think, needs to be fixed. Am I correct?
What's that?
Town council?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to be corrected.
Yeah. Only you would notice that.
Oh.
You're it.
Did you know you're on the council?
Sweet. Fire department, police stations, get a raise.
I wrote Paul Atkinson instead of Paul Bartlett on his notes.
I saw that and I'm like,
Congratulations.
Do we need to make that change, or can we approve it with that change?
I can just write it here. You can make it with the motion
Okay,
for the name change.
since you kind of want to do that.
sure. I'll make a motion to approve this with the change of Paul Atkinson to be Paul Bartlow.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That's really short.
Didn't last long
Lost
that
all
job,
those
did you?
chances.
Probably a good thing.
That's funny. That's signed or no?
No, do you want to sign this or want to make a change, Kathy? You want me to sign this now or just wait?
You can sign it. All I have to do is retype
One page.
that
One
page
page.
and send it. And then I have to send it off to rural development.
Let me find that page.
Probably good, I found it, no red flags.
Yeah. I
I
looked
just
it
saw
over
my
and I
name,
didn't even pick up
Atkinson
on it.
twice, and I was like,
No, I don't know.
I seen it, you just said something before I did. I don't think he's on the council.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, Brad can't be here this evening, but he wanted to add this to his list. The VFD needs to be ordered for a well house, probably cost $5,400. The water tower project will be starting next month, and it is needed in order to maintain pressure levels while the project is being done. Now, that's the one that keeps getting struck with lightning.
Yeah, it hasn't the last few times since they grounded the water tower, so it's either, if you don't put this in, then you gotta go over there and that well's gotta run for 24/7.
Yeah.
This way it just ramps up when the pressure gets low and stuff, so,
Okay.
I make a motion to go ahead and order it.
Okay.
I'll second it with a question. Does it stay stay in use all year to the next time around, or take it off and on, or?
It's just for when that tire's down.
Okay.
The way I understand it. That was put in after I left, so.
That was purchased and put in there just to keep the relief valves from dumping all the time and running one mill all the time was the idea.
It ramps the motor up.
Well, what I was thinking, would it make it more efficient on the water tower to run that all the time and let the well pick up and down?
No, because wells just kick on now. When it gets down to a certain level, then your well kicks on and puts it up, and none of them's running.
Get a different signal. We'd have to get a proportional signal to the controller and all that stuff.
Okay.
I think you still got to have your pop-off valves on this one up here and the one at the south end. It just that well's not running at full capacity all the time. It's just like at nighttime when everybody's asleep, it's sitting there just idling more or less or whatever.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
He also wanted to know if it'd be possible to order T-shirts for the utility crew with Montezuma Utilities imprinted on the pocket area for identifying purpose in a fluorescent color. Yeah, most everybody knew and wanted to know, and he said, "Oh,
I think it's a good thing. I always want them to have badges, but if they want to put Montezuma Utilities on the T-shirt, that's fine. But stipulation where don't cut the sleeves off, and it needs to be either the fluorescent yellow or green, and how many?
I think last time we got 2 each to start with, I think. I can't remember for sure.
You get them
I was
get
gonna
them three
say
or
at least
four,
3 or 4.
so you're not washing them 2 all the time or whatever. Yeah,
So you made a motion for that?
I make a motion. Yeah, get a T-shirt. That's all right.
Oh, sure. You know where he's gonna think about getting them?
There's been a couple names stirred up because there's some local people here in town doing that kind of business right now.
Okay.
You don't do T-shirts, do you? Heather does.
As long as they're not just a regular T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can order what they are and then have her imprint it for us.
Okay.
And have them check a Rule King,
Prices.
you can buy them at Rule King too, but I don't know. You can compare that price to the catalogs you got, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last thing on our list is was about the community center job, and Kathy has left a description in here. And I said we'd discuss that and see what we think about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that page.
There's never anything decided, and it's kind of.
I was going to bring up the police about changing some things.
Okay.
So, on this,
Mm-hmm.
how does the process work for the rentals? Are they not required to pay you prior to? They are to pay you and the deposit prior to even the day of.
Before we book an event, it has to be paid for, the rental fee and the deposit.
And if they do not clean it up, then the deposit
Should be.
goes to
General fund.
general fund, okay.
But then we need to pay the person that is cleaning it after.
Well, that's what you need to decide, because
Yeah.
most times the cleaning's done before the weekend rentals, but if there's a rental on Saturday, it's not cleaned, then that person has to stay that night or get up at the crack of dawn Sunday morning to come clean it, so that if it's rented out on
next
Sunday.
day. Yeah.
And it has to be inspected and everything shut off and
Get $10 per event
Yeah.
to make sure the building's locked up, the burners are off,
And then the deposit?
the deposit's $50. And the bad thing is, I think sometimes people think they're so tired after the event that let them keep the 50 because we're
Yeah.
tired, we don't feel like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, we don't have too many problems with it.
It does happen though.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the Ray. Non-compliance, once it's their deposit's not refunded, they've made their nest, they can lay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise they'll continue to do
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Mhm.
There's, we've had the building tied up for 3 or 4 days there due to bad weather and so forth. We've got to make sure that if we're going to have it available for people to use, and it's already booked, that if they've got to delay their event, then they got to clear out and come back. They can't just leave their stuff here. That was one of my big issues.
So how much of that 50 does that person get if they have to come in and clean it?
Right now, they don't get anything, other than a regular event.
$10.
No, the house.
It's
the
an
person
extra
that we
cleaning
hire.
for that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did maybe the salary lines with that change.
Probably, yeah.
Or that can be there somehow.
And then the last paragraph, I mean, we can do it that deposit, whatever, split it, give it all up. You know, that's,
I was asking, I think we ought to probably update the lease. It's probably good to look at every few years anyway and add in some of this stuff. And I don't know if you want to, but if you increase the deposit, it might keep people from
Not cleaning.
good point.
walking
Maybe.
away. And if they do clean, then they get their money back. If they
Yeah.
don't, then they have to pay a little bit more. Then you have to decide whether you want to pay the cleaning person, you know, you have the money then to pay them extra
Mm-hmm.
because you have that deposit money back. So
So, for example, if we go, just on out numbers, if we go to $100 deposit and say, split it 50-50 or 70-30 or of the deposit between the cleaning and the town, I mean, that's, I don't know what that percentage would be.
Something, 'cause I'm mainly concerned with advertising and hiring somebody, because I think if you have that in place prior to,
Oh,
you're gonna be better off.
yeah, oh, I agree. We just need to decide what it is.
I mean, if you do the deposit as a $100 deposit and they don't clean it, and then
Yeah.
do 50 to pay the, I mean, I would think that would be
Yeah,
adequate enough
I
to.
think so. I don't think it's too much
Cover
either.
the
I think it's
time.
good, because, like I said, you come up here and check the building at 8 or 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
you can't get in here. Most people like to be here first thing to decorate or whatever for their event. You're gonna
Right.
be in here 10, 11 o'clock trying to, I think that's fair.
So, take the deposit to 100?
I would. I mean, if they clean, they're gonna get it all back.
Yeah.
So, that's why I put that in there. A board member or somebody should be contacted just to verify that the building is not in good shape.
yeah.
That way you don't have somebody saying, oh, I need an extra
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Thinking how we used to rent the firehouse, like, it was $100 to rent the firehouse, but then it was $50 deposit. And they never got anything with $100 back or whatever. They'd get their deposit back, if it was left okay. Is that kind of how we're?
That's what we
Yes.
do.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, we try and stay on the same
Yeah.
avenue as this building, but we don't always.
We don't require even a deposit from the nonprofits that we waive the fees for.
Not if they come and get approval from the board.
And so when they get approval from the board, I'm hoping majority of the time they clean up after themselves. I'm hoping, majority.
We're supposed to.
The question I have is, and maybe I missed it, but is the person that's gonna be paid to do the cleaning making the decision on whether we're keeping the deposit or not, right?
That's what I
No, we
just
would have to
said.
have
There's a second
another one.
opinion to verify.
Yeah.
Second opinion, that way you don't have
A
somebody.
board member
thinking,
would come up and verify
I'll
that.
stay a couple hours and
I
get
think
that
that's a good
$50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a retirement income
Yeah.
that you can adjust anytime you want to. Yeah.
A lot of time we've taken pictures too, just to have
Yes.
backup in
Yeah.
case somebody says,
Not a bad
oh no,
idea.
it's clean.
So, and so this last paragraph, it says the $10 per event should be counted for every meeting that is held, such as now you don't do the boys baseball, softball, 4-H meetings. But
No, I don't, but I just figured you better get that squared away too before.
yes.
Most of them are pretty good. They come in for a meeting,
But they don't use a kitchen or anything like that?
Sometimes they do,
Okay.
but some of them are pretty good about just sweeping and,
Well, I mean, personally, I don't feel that that'd be any different than any other rental. Or, I mean, there's no money there, but if they gotta come in and check the place out, they should be able to get their visit pay or whatever.
How often do you have those kind of meetings?
And
Kathy, after you're
like
doing
this time of year, quite often. Boys baseball, girls softball's got it twice. 4-H has been using it twice a month.
Covered bridge once a month.
Yeah, first
And
Monday of every
graduation
month.
parties, when they use it,
Pardon me?
graduations, if they
Oh,
rent it
that's
that
their
way.
rental.
Different.
I was asking these groups that kind of, town groups that use it with
Like
some
how she just
regularity.
Like
asked
the
to use it.
baseball meetings and stuff like
Yeah.
that, softball.
Like I said, we got 4-H meeting at the firehouse too. So,
And Girl Scouts.
I'd say if it's a meeting they do, then you gotta come and check it out. That ought to be counted as an event.
yeah, I think so too.
So let's go down there. So the rental fee goes from 50 to 100.
The deposit.
At the deposit, yeah. And it will, if there is an issue over the deposit return, then one of the board members has to verify that we agree with that decision.
Yes.
And non-compliance, we're going to keep the money and say not again. And say whatever day you want for. That's the only day you got access. Do you have any rentals that's more than one day normally?
No, a lot of them, if they book it for a Saturday, we've always been, they'll want to know about coming in, decorating on Friday or whatever, but we always tell them, we can't let you do that if you're not going to pay a fee. If you call that Friday, Thursday or Friday, it's not rented, then we usually let them come in and set up or.
Is there a checklist of expectations for clean? I'm just curious.
Yes.
That way we're not just generally saying it needs to be cleaned.
Oh no, I've even added to it. I have to send you what I added
Yeah,
to it because, and highlighted and put words in red and.
Handwritten?
No, it's not handwritten. I typed that. I make fun of all my notes.
Time to lean, you got time to clean.
Right. Okay. And on all, no matter what the event is, it still gets the $10 for cleaning. Is that correct?
That's what we're saying.
Okay. You got all that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll redo the lease and we'll have to
I'll
amend
bring
the
in a
salary
new
ordinance.
lease. I'll bring in an updated lease next meeting. I think got 2 weeks, right? So yeah. Just with some minor changes. There'll be pretty minor changes and everything else.
I'd like to go ahead and advertise if that's okay, so we can see if we get any hits on it.
Rockville County. No
Put it
post
on the
office.
utility page.
Yeah. Paul.
Oh, I don't have much, but we kind of stalled out on the bank building the other day. Did we want to pursue that, or we just kind of let it die? And we don't want to see it sell if we're interested, and not take a chance at it. And I didn't know what we wanted to do on it.
Yeah, I saw they got a for sale sign, a sign out in the yard today.
Yeah.
That's the first time I noticed anyway. What do you think, Dink?
sort of like when we talked to Kathy about if they want to give it to us or at a real cheap price for what they've got of ours. And I'm in favor of checking the other two banks, see if they want to take care of our money too.
Did you not clarify that?
No, you haven't done nothing like that yet, have you?
No. I don't really hate to. I doubt that we'd get a better rate, but I'm just saying we might be able to use that as.
Well, I sort of, unless I misunderstood you, they charged us $700 or something.
But
to
they
take...
have been.
I
When
know
we
what
went
I'm
from
saying.
CDs to go into the money market, that $750 is an annual fee that's charged. The first or second year, we made about $8,000, $8,300. This past year, 2021, it was like $1,400 out of all our. So I emailed what's his name, Mr. Royer, and that just because of the COVID and then everything else, blah blah blah.
Interest rates, everything we can invest in is very.
Yeah.
It's no risk.
Yeah.
And because it's no risk, interest rates were essentially zero. Now the Fed did increase interest rates yesterday or this week, so you're going to start to see
A little bit of
things paying a little bit more interest. So
really going back to CDs, that's why we went this way to begin with, because that's a lot of paperwork and for hardly nothing.
Yeah, just went through that.
I know this because I saw emails and talked to somebody at the county about it yesterday. The county is very likely going to buy the Newport branch office.
From Maine County. Oh yeah.
But if we're
Are they
interested
getting a discounted building? by
I don't
chance?
know. I honestly don't. I have not. I know. I talked to Norm Lowry at the bank a couple months ago. That was before Christmas. So, and he told me they were going to get them all appraised. And now that doesn't mean that they will.
Now, I did have a phone call from somebody who was appraising the bank down here. He's asking about zoning and.
Yeah. Now that didn't. Like I said, that doesn't mean they have to take it. You know, they can take less.
It needs a lot of updating. And,
I don't know. I mean, I've been in the bank a couple times, but I haven't checked it out. I'm sure you could go in and check it out and see if you think it would work.
Yeah, Paul and Dig's been in
You know, generally speaking, of course, that's not saying. I mean, I'm biased because my office is actually in an old bank.
Yeah.
So you know, they have a lot of vaults and things that can be handy for that aren't going anywhere. That would be handy for an office.
If we're interested in the bank building, probably now is not the time to talk to him about charges on our accounts and stuff.
yeah.
You know,
You just might remind him that we got over
Yeah.
$4 million.
yeah, no, I think that, you know, and some of the people upstairs there, and there's some Park County people that work at the bank, of course, and saying, hey, but I have no idea what they want. But did somebody say 70,000?
Yeah.
Diana, wasn't it? I mean, I don't know. You can't buy something. You would have to have. You can't pay more than appraised value for something like that. I'm sure they have some support for why they're expecting that. But you know, if you offered them 55 and they said okay, I don't know. But you want to check. You'd want to check it out, obviously, before you bought it. But that's and I was going to suggest actually that if we can maybe get a little ahead of ourselves, that at our projects meeting next month, I need to take a little time, but we need to sit down and go over what we want to do with our ARP money. We got water stuff to pay for, we got some sewer stuff to pay for, and then you could use ARP money for the building if you wanted to.
So, if we didn't want to use that money for that,
you could pull it from other places.
just like any other budget.
Yeah. But I don't know whether, you know, it's up to you guys.
Is it something we want to pursue as far as the office moving down there, and I don't know, him having an office down there too. I mean, and it's going to have to be updated inside.
Yeah.
So I don't think we want to
And there's
spend
gonna
too
be-
much on it. So
I mean, the.
no, I'm just talking about an office just for
It's like
interviewing
what I
somebody.
sent you yesterday.
You would keep that up there. My thinking, you would keep that
Yeah.
up there. But if you had to interview somebody, there's a separate office there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. And do we want them to move down there? I mean, yeah, you got a night deposit, you got a drive-up window and
Vaults.
vault. And
My thought is regardless if we could get it bought right, you have control of what's going to be there going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
just-
not in favor, no 70 or 60 or, I mean, it'd have to be pretty cheap because you're going to spend some money inside
Yeah.
updating it.
Just your communications part is going to be real expensive, probably.
I got another utility.
And that's something that right now is Sparklight take care of yours up there now,
The
internet and stuff.
internet.
But if we move down there, it won't.
No, because it wasn't in the original contract. That's why they don't cover his building now.
Mm-hmm.
When is that contract due?
I think it's just grand, it was,
And
that
they're,
contract was based up a long time ago, and it's just.
Whatever town buildings were included at that time.
And it's just
Here
continued.
and the library on the other side was.
I think my internet is $110 a month for my office.
For your office.
The shop and the office was included.
I have a vague recollection that they have joint in that building, fiber. Am I making that up?
At the bank.
Mm-hmm.
No, they did come through there.
Because I remember seeing something on the joint side of things about
Yeah.
running
They have
fiber to the
fiber
bank.
optic,
and
but
all
the
that.
town can have fiber optic, or the whole town.
I know they come
Yeah,
through
they can.
there.
I want fiber
Maybe they were
optic.
just going
Wait,
through
I
it.
don't know if the bank
They-
actually
they can
went to it or.
if you got fiber optic from up there down here and don't give it to any residents, the residents are still considered fully served because it's in the vicinity. That whole broadband thing's quite a mess.
Well, the guts of it, I mean, I guess I don't know if anybody know, but the guts of it in good shape, the plumbing, the roof, and HVAC and all that. Anybody know?
Well, the roof is, and I don't know, about the plumbing. It's got you have two bathrooms.
The furnace is less than 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's
And
It's on a crawl space and not a slab.
not a slab.
So could a couple of them make an appointment with the realtor?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure. You,
And it wouldn't. come
no,
to
no,
the
it's just,
meeting?
you're just kicking the tires on it. I mean, but that's,
Well, what kind of range or, anybody got in mind?
I'd start with half of it. At least they,
Yeah.
most they do say no.
No, yeah,
What if they say yes? We want it cheap.
yeah. The one there by the 36, it's already sold.
Roosevelt sold.
I figured
Yeah,
36 would
yeah.
buy it so that they could use
Yes,
this parking
exactly.
lot.
And
Did he?
a banquet room.
Oh.
I think so. I don't really know for sure, but that, I knew that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get a hold of them and, I mean, you guys already looked at it. I
I've heard
mean,
to ask.
You want me to call and set it up or something? Or if he wants to do it, that's the real.
yeah.
Go for it.
If you do it next week, I'm free. Except for Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning.
All week except the other 7 days.
Yeah, just those two.
Fine with me if you do
I
that.
mean,
And then during that, go do that and then
yeah.
get a name of who you make your bid to.
Yeah, and if we can meet in executive session, I think, if I remember correctly, to discuss if you want to talk about price and that sort of thing, because obviously you don't want to
Yeah.
Probably can. But no, I just don't know. I mean, I think you're kind of lukewarm about it, but if you can get it for the right price, yeah, maybe.
I think John had a good point.
I must have missed it. Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't hear you, John. I'm sorry.
Well, if the town owned it, it would control who.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a key piece of, or could be a key piece of property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is highly visible, you know, and has some things going for it. But
Yeah,
Newport, the county was looking for extra new space anyway, and so it was a kind of a no-brainer for them because they're going to try and do a multi-county public defender's office and stuff like that. And there's not a lot in Newport around the square that's in even remotely good shape. So.
Okay, I'll get a hold of the bank. My other assignment was to talk to Jim Busenberg, and I reluctantly waited until the results of my well come back, and then thought I didn't want to talk to Jim because I didn't know where it was going to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went out this morning and caught him down south of Rockville on Fisher's Farm down there, and had a nice long hour and a half or more talk with him. But he really does not want the town pulling his water samples. And he told me many reasons, you know. But anyway, I said I'd share the information. One of the things he did tell me was it was 2019 is the last time, just 3 years ago this spring is the last fertilizer they put on that field, because it had, in 19 it was seed corn, and in 20 it was beans, and in 21 it was beans. So our readings are squirrely, so I don't know what the answer is and where to head, you know. But he doesn't want us messing with his wells.
Which we kind of figured it.
He suggested we talk to Joe Hill and pull a sample off of Mel Wilderman's up there in the long field behind the blue building. He said there's a well in there, would be on the same aquifer. He suggested that. So.
Does everybody know what the results were from your well, Paul? 'Cause I just saw them a second ago.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's no help.
No, right.
None whatsoever.
Paul's
14.
Paul's numbers were high too.
Yeah.
So Paul and Diana. So that's not good.
We let that run a good 10 or 15 minutes probably, and the hydrant out. That'd be the first fixture off the well. So it's right there. Maybe let it run too long.
But when he says he's not putting fertilizer, he's still irrigating.
Still irrigating.
So if the ground's saturated, it's just going to percolate down. It'll just take.
Still, that's the whole problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you ain't not going to convince me any different.
No.
I mean, it showed right. I left them at home.
I should have sent it to you, Nick. There was an article in the Indianapolis Star this morning about the Clean Water Act and how much money is being spent by Indianapolis and places all over the state, and how a lot of and how Indiana's rivers and things are cleaner now than they were, but they're still pretty bad nationally, and how IDEM does not regulate farm runoff and farm fields.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the article, and it's the issue that we kind of have here. IDEM regulates us, and so.
Not then.
Who has the fields just out there off of 600 just south of town? That's not Busenbark's. Who's that? Is that White's?
Where you at?
Just 636.
No, that's Walker.
Walker.
They got fertilizer. They're running them out there. Are they on the same aquifer?
Yeah.
So they're fertilizing. They got a tank sitting out there next to
Well,
them.
it's supposed to run out. It runs out an angle, but
You know,
I guess what I'm still getting at.
It may not just be Busenbark's
No.
issue.
Oh,
It
no,
could be-
no.
Oh, it's not. It's
Well,
not.
now, because you can look, even when Clapp had his, we didn't have a problem here. It wasn't until 2013 when he put the first two in, started going up, and then he put the next two in 2000, let's see, 2000, got it written down, 2006 and 2013. It jumped when you put the next two in. So it's, I'm not blaming
Does
him.
Clap still have one out there?
Oh yeah, he's got them, and what's the other farmer out there? Flag. He's got them out there too. That's what caused, to me, that's what caused Bloomingdale's.
Yeah.
They had the problem too. See, what people not, I guess not understanding. So if they give us the money and we put this in, blah blah blah, this and that, well that ups our
Operational costs.
well that plus we have to find a different licensed water operator because it puts us into a higher class.
Yeah.
Maybe you told me that and I forgot.
Yeah.
So it's screwing us all the way around. I'm sorry. And it just really gripes me that the state can't help us, knowing, and especially when we know what the problem is, or we think is part of the problem. Something could have broke loose or whatever down underneath, but it's, I mean, it's right there in writing. We were 0.0 point whatever before he put these wells in, and then it jumps anywhere from 6 to 8, and then he puts the next two in, and we're getting 10, 12, 14. Well, you're not going to convince me that he hasn't saturated it.
That's what I found out.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Well, at least we know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your efforts.
And
Thank you.
it's sad that,
Yeah. But, you know, that doesn't cure our
oh
problem.
hell
either.
no, excuse my language, but yeah, I'm not happy about the whole thing. And I don't care what you put in the paper.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. It's just a thorn in my side.
That's all I have to.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I've got anything.
John?
Nick.
Yep, my blood pressure's already up.
Terry can drive you home, you'll be all right. Kathy.
You skipped over our ARP supplemental distribution. It come in
Oh,
$421.31.
Actually more than I thought it would be.
I know, I wasn't expecting
I
that.
think it was like 42 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one who
People who didn't take their money.
didn't take their money?
I didn't think we'd get that much.
That's more than I thought.
Better than that,
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who got to spend that on?
It might be your book.
Not on fuel, that's for sure. Scott.
You gave us 15 minutes I had.
And Iowa got beat.
Iowa got beat today.
That didn't make me feel much better after last week, and now they got beat already.
Yeah.
So.
That is?
I think so. Anybody else got anything?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Aye.